All right. So good afternoon, everyone. And I'm happy to see you all today. And thank you guys for allotting time during your week to attend an ACE Commerce Philippines event. So I hope everyone's excited because we will be starting our webinar in a few minutes. Thank you. All right. So hi again, everyone, and welcome to this week's ACE Commerce event. And thank you for joining us for today's exciting webinar. So my name is Patrice, and I'm a community associate of ACE Commerce Philippines, a cross-border entrepreneur learning community. So before I call on our speaker for today's webinar, let me introduce you guys to what ACE Commerce is. So Amazing Cross-Border Entrepreneur Commerce, or ACE Commerce, is a global entrepreneur community that started in Indonesia. So ACE Commerce is for anyone interested in learning about building successful cross-border commerce by exploring opportunities in a wide range of commerce, as well as having amazing insights and guidance from awesome founders and entrepreneurs. We also strive to bring in amazing founders, mentors, and entrepreneurs to talk to our community of aspiring successful entrepreneurs, and we strive to provide the best online resources and content to our community to help them towards entrepreneurial success. So if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship and get updated for upcoming events, please like our Facebook page. And in order to connect with fellow entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, you can join our Telegram group so you can network and ask advice from the community. So lastly, I'd like to go over a few items for those who would want to have an e-certificate. So our participants must fill out the evaluation form during the end of this webinar. So the link will be given at the end of the talk and will be open until 11:59 p.m. only today. So you must send the proof of attendance at this webinar. It can just be a screenshot of this live and also a proof of your membership at our website. So it can also be a screenshot of your account on Ace Commerce Philippines website. So in case some of you guys are not a member yet, then here's how you can sign up. Okay, so I hope everyone here is already a member, but if you're not, you can just sign up at our website after this webinar. So anyways, that's all from me because I know everyone is eager to meet our speaker. So let me introduce our key speaker for the day. So our speaker for today is Miss Maria Suzette Abela, the CEO of Sinag Hostel Siargao and Business and Mindset Coach at the Modern Maria Co. So this webinar is perfect for anyone interested in learning valuable techniques on how to create healthy business life boundaries. So everyone, let us all welcome and give a round of applause to Miss Maria Suzette. Hi, Miss Suzette.
Hey, whoops, I was on mute. Hello, hi everyone. So I hope you guys are having a good afternoon and a Friday. And we will just be relaxing, no? Because it's Friday. And this is the reason why my webinar is all about entrepreneurship without overwhelm, because we're supposed to enjoy our life outside business as well. So this is all about redesigning your business around your life. For those of you guys who are just starting as entrepreneurs or aspiring to be one, or maybe scaling your business, this is a perfect webinar for you. So you can follow me at themodernmaria.co and the Modern Maria Co on Facebook if you want to know more content about entrepreneurship and the way I approach freedom and hustling, which you will learn a bit later on. So if you guys have any questions, I heard that this is live on YouTube, so we will probably be accommodating questions later on. But for now, I'm gonna welcome you guys to this special session called Entrepreneurship Without Overwhelm. So this is for you. I just want to make sure that this will be valuable for you. And if you guys are feeling this right now, you feel stuck in a hamster wheel and feel constantly burned out, and if you want to see the potential of your business and even your potential as an entrepreneur without sacrificing your sanity, we're going to talk about that as well. And if you want to live your best life now, because I know a lot of things happened for the past 2 years, and a lot of people thought that we're going to have to delay our happiness until the pandemic is done, diba? But you can definitely enjoy your life right now, and we will again we will be covering that later on. So this is not for you if maybe you haven't launched your business yet and you do not have any clients or customers, and you're satisfied on how you run your business, you're okay, you don't need anything else. Perhaps if you want to stay, you can still be open-minded. And if you're looking for a get rich quick scheme, sorry, this is not the place to be. So I'm not really a huge fan of, get rich after like X months. Okay. And everything that I do and everything that I teach to my students is is a byproduct of hard work and perseverance. Okay. And if and today you will learn the most common reasons why you're overwhelmed, and how and what can you do about it, and the 3 waves from burnout to bliss, which is my signature framework on how you can redesign your business around your life. So in return, I ask that you close all tabs in your computer. I know it's going to be hard because some people might be live streaming on YouTube, but it is important for me to remind people that in order for you to maximize the value of this session, is to avoid all these distractions and close the tabs in your computer or laptop or your phone. You can turn your mobile phones on silent and put. Oh, okay. We're not inside the Zoom, the participants. So yeah, you guys are in mute, and be mentally present for the next hour as I go through the presentation. So in addition to what Patrice mentioned, so I'm Susie. I am the CEO of Isang Lakbay Corporation, and I created this passion project. So I started with, okay, I love traveling. I love hopping from one hostel to another. And then we created a whole corporation because I got partners and have the business Sinag Hostel in Siargao. So in 2018 actually, I officially moved to Siargao. So now I'm an island girl, okay? But I'm not in Siargao right now, so I'm in Isabela, and I'm heading back there on next week actually, to reopen the business. I'm also a business and mindset coach, so that's what I I created the Modern Maria Co. is a company that I own, and it's dedicated on creating programs for starting entrepreneurs, launching entrepreneurs, and to understand how we can rewire the mindset, especially of Filipinos, to become full-time entrepreneurs. So that's my advocacy right now. So for the past 1.5 years, I've been teaching and coaching different entrepreneurs from different sides of the world. Some of them are coaches as well, who don't know the business side of things. Some of them are starting, a baking business and cosmetics, so different brands. And it was fun because you get to see the different personalities of different entrepreneurs extended to their own brand. So that's what I've been doing the past 1.5 years. So just a little bit background about me. I promise that this will only be few slides just to give you a context of why I ended up uh, advocating the balance between the business and the life. Okay? Because I've experienced myself the hustling, and I quit my corporate job in the city to become an entrepreneur. And for us, there's this kind of culture inside the entrepreneurship community that, okay, you have to work hard, you have to be hands-on, that 18 hours is just normal when you're working. And I do wanted to quit, the 9 to 5 job, because I felt like it was limiting me, because I wanted my freedom. So I moved to Siargao, and I love nature, so it's the perfect place to be for me. And my mantra when I moved to Siargao is hustle hard. Okay. And in a very, I would say, it's a very slow paced environment, that will give you a lot of frustration because everything was so slow. So I was the only one who thinks that, okay, so I should be working more than, 16 hours in a day. And I'm trying to control the success. So basically, because I thought, because it's because I came from Metro Manila, no. So I'm just I felt like hindi pa ako nakapag-adjust dun sa island state of mind. But okay, the biggest thing, the parang turning point for me was when I felt like I definitely am guilty of taking a break. So there was this long stretch of days where I feel overwhelmed. Okay. And then I would go outside. So, I don't know if you guys have been to Siargao, but it's a beautiful place. And there were some days where I would surf, and I feel like, oh, maybe I should be working now. Maybe I should be, finishing a task that should have been done yesterday. So I always feel overwhelmed when I'm not working. And that's, for me, that's a big red flag, that why am I feeling this way? I mean, I'm passionate about what I'm doing, but why do I feel guilty of taking a break? So I asked myself, is this still healthy for me? Okay, is this really normal for entrepreneurs? Should we work more than 18 hours to prove that, we are, well, we're going to be successful? I often feel tired and overwhelmed. And at first I thought it's because I'm passionate about it. So I'm willing to sacrifice, if hours and my energy to work on something that I really love. But then I realized it wasn't just about being passionate, or it wasn't because I came from Manila and that is Siargao. So it's not because of that. It was because I have been living under the hustle culture mindset. And let me explain a little bit about that. So there are so many ways that the hustle culture mindset is perpetuated in our society, in the Philippines, around the globe. So after all, diba, rich people like Elon Musk would say there are ways, oops, okay. Yeah, there are easier places to work, but nobody ever changed the world on 40 hours a week. So a lot of people think that, okay, in order for you to become successful, you would want to stretch, like maximize your energy within the day and make sure that you dedicate your life to your work, right? But there has been disproven for a long time na changing the world is not really about the hours of work, but the impact and the quality of work. But as Filipinos, meron tayong, the hustle culture is pretty much here, that we recognize that hustling was part of our surviving. So hustling, I acknowledge myself that I came from hustling mindset, that I needed to have like 2 to 3 jobs in order to survive, and I need to have long working hours, and we acknowledge that. Okay, but okay, the line that I'm crossing now, or ito yung parang there's a point in my life when I realized that as I grow my business, I realized that hustling was actually counterproductive. And this means that overstretching myself and going beyond my limits every single day is not actually adding to my productivity and my creativity. So, in fact, it was counterproductive to it. So, there is a certain season in your life and phase in your life that you will realize that why am I, pushing myself into working 18 hours a day when I can actually rest? So I told my friend the other day that sometimes when people ask me go big or go home, and I always tell them that yeah, I would go home, I would sleep and rest because I'm done for the day. And some people would look at it as, oh, you're lazy, right? But for me, it's knowing what is enough. Okay. So I am a very ambitious person. Although I love the slow pace of life, I love my me time. I love spending time outdoors. My ideal day is waking up, surfing, and then doing the work in the afternoon. And I also love hanging out with my mom. But one lesson I learned from all of this is that creating a business, launching a business has different energy when you're actually growing the business. That requires totally different efforts. What got me there, what got me to creating a business in Siargao will not take me to another milestone in the business, or will not even take me to another version of myself as an entrepreneur. Okay, so I need to really think about how can I make this work. If is it possible to become successful without the hustle culture mindset? Because I am tired of feeling tired. I don't want to get overwhelmed anymore, because that was the time when I was crying because of my work. So that's a lot of anxiety. And is there an alternative way to run the business without getting overwhelmed? Okay, that's the truth that I'm trying to find. And by looking around, around the internet, I saw these guys. So I'm actually exchanging messages with these people, and I saw this movement across the world. And you can follow them. I'm flashing their Instagram accounts right now. There are movements like Unhustle, Slow Entrepreneur, the Anti-Hustle, and the Anti-Hustle California. And when I saw their content, I was like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So I tried to sometimes message them, tag them on some of my content as well. But this is what this is my ideal kind of business, of running my business. This is my ideal, I guess, type of growth when it comes to my personal growth, as an entrepreneur as well. So how you can design life, work, and play effortlessly so that you can have the best of both worlds. Like you can be successful in your own business, but you can also enjoy the life outside the business. Okay. So these are the things. This is the byproduct of the things that I've been researching on for the past, I think, 1 year. This is because this is part of the parang the newest account, newest content that I'm creating for my business. So what I did, I tried to apply I what I discovered. Like, for one, I realized that I'm the type of person na that I want to take my time in the morning for myself. So I dedicated half of my day to myself. And that's going to be drastic kasi I'm the type of person before na 8 a.m. pa lang magtatrabaho na ako hanggang sa magsawa ako until gabi. Okay? So that drastic change came from a point na, okay, so if these people actually did it, if they were able to redesign their business around their life, and they were able to enjoy a lot of things outside their business, maybe I can do that too. And they're successful people as well. And there are many ways, not just in growing the business, in marketing even, that you can actually apply the slow hustle culture. And so I started with my life. So how does my ideal day look like? So from here, I started, okay, let's dedicate half of my day to resting, to taking my time to do yoga. I love yoga, by the way. And then meditation, kung kailangan mong tumakbo, kung kailangan mong lumakad with nature. So yeah, do that. And then have hyper focused hours in the afternoon. So that's what I did. Now, the effect, okay, I was really surprised that it will be something that I'm so excited to share to a lot of people. And number one, ito yung hindi masyadong related sa business, but that's definitely what I feel right now. But the boost in creativity. So sometimes like sobrang daming ideas na lumalabas. Okay, so that's one thing I can tell you. So my mind is well rested. So whenever I need to think of an idea, to create programs or to have another way of doing marketing, creativity is always high. Mood improvement. So I feel like I'm happier now. I'm not trying to push myself now to work and to be miserable and to be drained by my business or my work. And I'm more mindful and focused. So that's why I can hyper focus on like 2 to 3 hours without distraction. And I would definitely credit that change in that redesign to this. And in the business side naman, I doubled my income. So I was really surprised about that because I was hoping or I was assuming that it's not gonna work with my business. If I step out of my business and parang nabawasan yung working hours ko in the business, I thought that my business would actually have less revenue, but it doubled my income. And I found my dream clients. I found the people that I really want to work with, and I'm getting the right opportunities. And this is something that I'm gonna reinforce later. So there are many opportunities when you are an entrepreneur, but you can't say yes to everything. And because I get to clear my intention, I get to clear my vision, ano ba yung ideal day ko. So I get to receive the right opportunities that I want to work on. Okay, and I have to say no to a lot of things as well. Okay, so those are the major effects on me, on my personal growth, and as well as my business growth. So it wasn't about the business strategies per se, because there are so many ways to grow and start a business, but it's actually the mindset of the entrepreneur. So if you guys are listening and you're, starting a business, it's really about your mindset. So the way you show up to yourself, the way you show up to you take care of yourself will actually impact the way you take care of the business. And before moving on to how can I redesign my life, Susie, there are 5 major reasons that I found out why people feel overwhelmed. And this is from my own experience and from the experience of different clients. So Micah here is an architect based in CDO, and you can search her on micahdesign.co. Tyne is an events organizer also based in CDO, the Creative House, and Audie is a dietitian and nutrition coach, and you can also find her at Harmonious Nutrition.co. So there were the 3 guinea pig sila nung redesign program that I did, only because I wanted to know whether it will work for somebody else. I was so curious that, okay, if I made this work for me, so how or what will be the results for other people? Otherwise, parang I won't really advocate this thing kasi wala akong evidence. So I mostly decide based on the data that I'm getting. So I tried implementing this to some of my clients, and one of the most common thing, one common thing that from these 3 ladies is that when they came to me, they were like, I am overwhelmed, I am burned out, and my day looks like this. So a chunk of it is working, and a big chunk of it is just being overwhelmed by all the work. Now, let's go to the mistake number 1. One thing that I noticed from me and from these people is that they believe that they are the business. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys will say, well, you are the business kasi pag solopreneur ka, you're actually the business, right? But the dangerous area here is when you cross the boundaries between, is this my business because I'm attaching my worth to success of the business, right? Kasi a lot of people, they measure their worth with the success of their business. But again, you cannot, once you start doing that, you'll continue to cross boundaries between you and your business, and that can be suffocating. I've experienced this a lot of times, that because people can recognize you, oh, you are, I know you are, what will happen to the business if you're not there? But I have also a lot of things outside my business, so it's kind of suffocating, especially when parang in business, it's like roller coaster ride, right? So may days na sobrang ganda, may days na sobrang low lang sales. So you're actually parang prone to that roller coaster of emotions when you try to attach yourself too much to the business. And I swear, like I was crying for a few days nung mga time na yon, that I was really attached to my business because I was thinking like I'm really passionate about it. You will always feel the need as well to stay present and be hands-on, like 24/7. So it's like a marriage for you, and you will be a control freak because again, you're attaching the success of the business to your worth. Okay. And you will always decide based on what's in it for you, because you feel like you're the business rather than what's in it for the business. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. So when you see two separate people, like two separate identities, sometimes if you are, if you are on that, if I'm the business, I will always think na ano yung magbe-benefit sa akin. But when you see two separate identities, or entities as well, you can be more objective in on deciding na kung ano yung kailangan ng business mo. So, and I would recognize that this is a lot of my ego working on the business, because I always feel like, okay, since I'm the business, I have to decide what's best for me. Okay. So, but those two are separate things. So you have to decide what's best for you as a person, and also what's the best for the business. My perfect example here is when, recently I had to fire a contractor. And if it's just me, honestly, like, maawa ko, sobrang naawa ko when I fire people. And it's not like it's a usual ano ba, not responsibility, but the usual task in the business. So hindi naman araw-araw nag-fire ako ng tao. But I had to decide based on the business, based on a contract, based on an agreement. And yeah, you have to develop that thick skin. But again, I would always see myself as separate to the business, and I have to be objective when it comes to the business. Now, number 2 is, okay. Oops. Can you guys hear me? Sorry. All right. Number 2 is you believe that more is more. Okay, so that's 99.1. So what's the difference? Let me just quickly define here. So a maximizer mindset is you need to make the most out of the inputs and go all in. So that means that if I have one day, I have to make sure that I accomplish everything in one day. I have to be productive this day, and that means I have to finish all the tasks. So there is that 99% effort to get one perfect result. So in the business, it feels like, for instance, if you have if you want to target a specific sales, target sales in a month, so you won't stop until you get that right. So 99% effort to get that one perfect result. And you also believe that more hours is more productive and more clients is more successful. Okay, so well, in hindsight, then ganyan din yung mga pinaniniwalaan ko before, because well, if there are more clients, then there would be more money coming in, right? But there are yeah, okay, so there are two different mindsets when it comes to growth. Okay, one is the mindset to maximize, and it's all about getting the maximum revenues and profits no matter what is the cost. And kung mapapagod ba yung team mo. So I need to get the most out of my input. You say yes to every client as well, because more client equals more revenue. That's your belief. And you want to go fast, focusing on the growth hacks. You believe that the more I put effort, the more I will be successful. Okay. Whereas there's another way of thinking, which is to optimize. It's about getting a goal by carefully considering the relative inputs required. And this can be the same as the return of investment. So if I say like, okay, now I have computed the cost, maybe siguro sabihin natin 100,000. If I get 2 times of that that's enough for me. Okay, I have optimized my inputs. So that's considering my energy, that's considering the energy of my team, that's considering the resources that we have right now, and covering all the bases, meaning all my expenses, and at the same time having, a little bit more. So kung yung extra 100,000 will be enough for me to live and also to thrive as a human being, then why not? Okay. Whoops. Ayan. All right. So now I see myself on the screen. Sorry. Uh, it's all about saying no as well to a client if they don't fit your capacity or not aligned with your values or requirements. So yes, I fire clients as well, but that's because it's coming from a perspective of, if you're not aligned with my values, if you're not aligned, or if I'm not the right person you're looking for, then this is not going to work. So it's not a win-win situation for both of us. So I say no to a client. Okay. You intentionally go slow to refine your systems and assess inputs as you go. And you focus on what is that 20% highly valuable task that will get you 80% results. So this is the part where you sit back and you step back. Okay, sit back and step back then. And you really think about the strategy moving forward. Ano kaya yung mga tasks in the business? 20% of it lang. Yun. Kapag na-determine mo yun, it will actually give you 80% result. So one perfect example is that when people are trying to this is one of the major mistakes I committed when I was starting as a coach. We're trying to perfect everything about my logo or my photo or my branding, but this may not be part of the highly valuable task. Okay, maybe it's all about doing market research or reaching out to people, asking about what they need. So those can give me 80% results, but a lot of people would rather focus on the small tasks. We're kind of obsessed with the small tasks and making it perfect. And we forgot na parang meron pang ibang mga responsibilities outside that. So that could happen when you're a maximizer as opposed to being an optimizer. So I don't know if you guys are maximizers or optimizers. But right now, my belief is you have to optimize rather than maximize in the long term, and you have to leverage on different systems that can help you get that 80% results, and sit back and relax and to know what is enough for you. So here, si Audie, when she came to me, she's like, oh, I am actually dealing with, I'm managing 30 to 40 people in a month, clients to, and I believe I'm helping them, but what about me? I'm overwhelmed. So how can I better serve people if I myself, I cannot take care of myself? So how can I show up to these people confidently and tell them that, oh, guys, you need to be healthy, you need to be you need to be taking care of yourself, but I myself cannot walk the talk. So we had to create a strategy for that. So when you continue doing this, maximizing and pushing yourself beyond limits, that's going to be exhausting. This is basically the source of burnout and overwhelm. And you're prone, just like what I said earlier, you can be prone to really high and low emotional roller coaster because you're trying to push, you're trying to bend the will of the universe by working so hard and so long for you to be able to achieve success. Okay. And overwhelm is a constant cycle. If you see people na parang, oh, now okay, I was able to get this milestone. So what's next? You always ask yourself what's next. And even if it's causing you mental anxiety, and even if you're compromising your own wellness, so you always think that what's next, and you always think overwhelm as and burnout as normal because you think that it's an input to your success. I hope that's making sense. Yeah. Okay. So number 3 mistake is that you are too much in the business. And that's one thing I learned from few years of operating Sinag, because I was living inside the hostel back then. And again, I'm really passionate about it. But when you are starting, you also oops, sorry. I think I lost my video again. Okay. You also are whoops. Teka lang ha. I'm just gonna fix my oh. So you are also an employee inside your business. Okay. And when you are always working inside the business, you are sometimes you forget that you are also the CEO. Okay, you are also responsible for taking care of the future of your business. Okay? There could be an obsession with tasks, small tasks that should have been delegated, but then again, you want to make things perfect and you're trying to spread yourself too thinly. Again, we acknowledge that when you're starting, you're going to wear different hats. Yes. But as you grow as a business owner and your business, you then, as it grows, you should know when to delegate a small task, when to outsource, when to ask for help. So like Micah, when she came to me, she's like, my plate is overwhelming already that I manage design, I manage accounting, I manage admin, build, purchasing, and I paused accepting projects already because I want to put everything in order first. So many projects declined already, so I could finally work on this. And she was basically parang desperate to find something, so a system that can work for her because she's wearing a lot of hats. And Tyne, on the other hand, she's a perfectionist. So I want things to be perfect that I ended up doing the task too. So I don't know if you guys, so you can comment if you are, if you feel this way as well. These are creative entrepreneurs, and I am also a creative entrepreneur, so I know that it's really hard to delegate some tasks to other people because you're expecting that they will duplicate 100% your no your skills, right? Your or the results that you want. So if you continue doing this, you won't be able to, staying inside the business as an employee, you won't be able to see the gaps in the business because you're always there inside. You're always firefighting and you won't have time to strategize for the future of the business. Just like what I said, you're also the CEO. So you have to look at what's going to happen in my business for about in about 6 months or 1 year. So it's your responsibility. And you continue to work on the things that drain you because you want to make things perfect. So even though it's draining you, you won't ask for help and your growth will be slower. So contrary to what they're saying that when you hustle, you will grow faster. Actually, what we found out here from testing this particular program is that when people have more mental space to think about the business direction, their growth is actually faster. So here, what we did with Micah is we regularly look at her business on a bird's eye view. So for her, when she stopped being an employee to her own business and just see what are the things that that give her that drain her, what are the tasks that she can delegate and outsource, she was able to have mental space for planning the future of the business, and the business direction becomes very clear for her and the growth is also faster. So this is basically what we do inside strategic planning, so forecasting, analysis of her sales, and even her pricing strategy. So yon, for the whole year na yan. So she was able to see clearly what is enough for her. So when you know what's enough, you will know when to stop. Because honestly, like 400, 500% maximizing the profit, yeah, it's good. But sometimes it compromises the sanity and the rest as well. And some people don't really need that. Some people just wanted to go home and sit back and relax. And okay, so let's proceed to number 4. Number 4 is you believe that if it's not exhausting and it's not complete, you don't deserve it. So let me explain that. So when a lot of people think na kung hindi ako naghirap, kung hindi super exhausting, super na-drain ako, hindi ko deserve yung win. Okay? I don't know how many of you guys feel that. But there's this, I don't know if it's cultural, but when things are easy, we feel like we should do more or we should be doing more to deserve it, okay? To deserve the rest. And when I say it's not complete, we hardly, celebrate the little progress that we have because we don't see that success as complete. When we just did like one task out of the 10 that we need to do, parang iniisip natin, oh, I'm not gonna celebrate yet because it's not complete. So we try to delay our happiness. And once I'm done, ito yung mga normal na sinasabi ng mga tao, including me before. So once I'm done, then I'll be happy. If it's not complicated and exhausting, we don't deserve the rest. And we push through despite the mental exhaustion because of this belief. Because we know that hindi ako nahirapan today. So, hindi ako pwedeng magpahinga. Okay? But, I just want to ask you guys, I don't know if you can answer probably in the comment section, but how does your day look like? So currently, and I want you to be honest. So is it when you spend your 24 hours, how does it look like? So 24 hours minus work equals me time, or 24 hours minus me time equals work? Okay, I'll be very honest. And I used to be in the hustle culture mindset. So whenever I have whatever can squeeze in on my day as my me time, yun lang yung i-insert ko as as part of my rest and for the hobbies and everything, because I was a workaholic. Okay, I love working, but then I totally forgot myself. And the people who plan their day to like this, the 24 hours minus work equals my me time, will work harder and longer. Okay, so that they can deserve their me time. Okay, and then the people naman who will always think that, okay, from my 24 hours, ima-minus ko na agad yung 8 hours of my sleep plus 2 to 3 hours of my me time in a day. So this is exactly what I'm doing currently. And then that will be dedicated to work. And in order for me to be able to achieve this, that means I have to leverage on delegation, I have to outsource, I have to leverage on tools and systems that can help me, parang decrease my working time. Okay, so that I am able to enjoy this me time. And I have this belief now that me time is an input to how to the quality of my work. So it could be the creativity, just like what I mentioned earlier. So I have much better focus and mindfulness when it comes to work when I had my 8 hours of sleep, or my 2 to 3 hours of me time, including workout, socials, kung ano man yung gusto kong gawin. So this is how I think, or I practice most of the days. But hindi ako magsisinungaling. Now, there are days when I absolutely work harder or longer. Okay, but I make sure that it is my choice. Okay? But most of the time, I plan my days like this. So you can be honest with yourself. But again, when you stop doing this, you'll work smartly. That you will be valuing your rest and me time as an input to your work and creativity, and you learn how to set boundaries with yourself. Okay, and these are more intentional as well. That means na there are there are days when the source of my happiness is not because I was able to close a client or I was able to have big sales for my business, but there are days when the best thing that happened is I was able to finish my workout, or I was able to meet someone, to meet a friend, right? So it's really about looking at the different aspects of your life in a more balanced way. So it's not just about work and life, and we're not here to just live and pay bills, right? We are here to also build relationships with the people who matter to us, and to enjoy, to grow outside our business. It could be hobby or interest. So see Audie. So when we had a call like a few weeks ago, and the best news that she told me is that she's not working on weekends anymore, because weekends is dedicated for herself. Okay, and then si Micah naman, she was able to reduce work week of her team from a 6 day to 5 day. Again, the 6 day was norm in their industry. Okay, and then people have to go to work on a Saturday. But then she told me, you know what? When I decreased the work week to just 5 days, it didn't make any difference with the quality of our work. So clearly, there's something. There's a big gap on what we believe is true, okay, versus what is actually true for you, okay, or for your business. So it's all about customizing that definition of what is needed, what is enough. Okay, so she is a diver, and she has guilt-free regular dives in a week. And lastly, number 5, You don't know what is actually enough. And I mentioned that earlier. On the personal side, so what I notice with my clients, because I do mindset coaching as well, is that this encapsulates that that insight. When you feel like you're not enough, you'll overcompensate by doing too much. A lot of the things that I see people doing, impacts their businesses and their work. Some of those actions came from how they see their self-worth. Okay, how do they see themselves, the identity, okay, their identity. So when they feel like they're not enough, they would do a lot of things. They will spread themselves too thinly, okay, because they think that they need to overcompensate. Okay, so we had to, yeah, that's that. When to be transparent, that can come from childhood trauma, from so many things. So it could be a lot of our culture as well, contributor yan to our mindset. Okay. On the business side, you have zero to little idea what is enough for the business to be sustainable. But you're not looking at your numbers. You're not looking at your expenses as well. So those are the two things that I noticed from working with these three ladies. If you continue doing this, when you have, the self, when you see that you're not worthy of things, especially when you're an entrepreneur, parang sobrang daming highs and lows ng entrepreneurship. And you can easily copy a system and a goal of someone else's. And you're going to be prone to that when you don't feel enough. Okay. And when you are, when you don't know what is true to you, what is authentic to you, you'll be pulled in so many directions that you don't necessarily want, because you are living under someone else's expectations. So that could be your parents, that could be the society, that could be your friends as well. So you'll blindly follow a system or a goal that works for someone else, but when you try to implement that to yourself, it actually doesn't work, and it makes you feel more lacking because this system and goal is not yours, because this is something patterned from a common belief in the society, and that's why you can hardly find a way for you to, to discover your own truth. And I've seen that a lot of times na parang, why would you want this goal? Because this is basically ito yung uso sa ganitong kind of industry, but why would you follow that? So those challenging questions, yeah, I would throw to them. And then your success is hard to repeat and predict to make it sustainable when you don't know what's enough. You're just going to try different strategies and see what actually sticks. And you always keep on chasing. So this is the part where you don't know what's enough. You just run after the next opportunity and the next opportunity. Okay. So you have to know what is enough for you. Now, if you stop doing this, you'll be more invested in your own growth, and you'll feel in control of the business, and you know when to stop or add more. So the main intention of this program is not for them to just really slow down on things, but to give them quiet confidence. When do I go fast? When do I go slow? Okay, when is enough for me? And at the same time, being invested on your personal growth, not just as an entrepreneur, but as an individual. So if you love surfing, well, I love surfing. So, enjoy surfing and be present in surfing. If you love diving, enjoy diving and be present at it. So Micah here told me that she used to have a quitter mindset. Now she can see a lot of opportunities and possibilities for her business because she was able to take a step back and really see ano pa yung mga skills niya and strengths niya that actually contribute to the business. And because she's able to fulfill what's enough, what's enough for her, what are the yung mga hobbies niya outside the business, she's able to meet her friends as well without feeling guilty. She's already testing an online service expansion, which was something she's supposedly part of her 5-year timeline. So we identified that at the beginning of our program, and she told me na yun nga, parang it's now the time to test it, because she knows what enough now with the present business, and now she can expand. So again, it's all about knowing when to go fast and when to go slow. So before I give you how, the signature framework on how you can actually redesign your business, I want you to just remember this, because rewiring the hustle culture mindset will take probably months or years. So it took me like 2 years to completely rewire that kind of mindset. Okay. But the first step is acknowledging that constant overwhelm and burnout is not normal. Okay. If you're feeling that way and everything is draining, take a step back. But this is not supposed to be normal. And then you can shift from there. If you are here right now, this is just recognizing where we are or where you are currently. You might be experiencing constant burnout and overwhelm. You might have unpredictable revenues. You rarely take a break, or if you take a break, you feel guilty about it. And you're confused about where to take the business. Maybe this is where you want to be. You want to take back the control in your business and in your life. You want to have more time for yourself as well and save time for your business, and you want to grow without complicated strategy. So I'm not a huge fan now of complicated strategy. If it's exhausting and draining me, it's not going to be repeatable and predictable success. And you want to have clarity on your business direction. Now, if that is what you want, so you can stay and learn more about these 3 waves. This is, of course, inspired by my life in Siargao, and that's why I always associate everything with the waves and the ocean. So 3 waves is from burnout to bliss, and it's all about this 3 phases. So the first phase is you detach and redefine. The second phase is to decline, and the last phase is to redesign. So the first phase, this is where we separate you and the business. Of course, that's your baby. That's at the beginning when you're starting a business. That's part of your identity. But actually, there could be it could be separate brands. I have a personal brand which is the Modern Maria Co. I have another business which is Sinag. So these are two totally separate entities. Okay. You have to look at the very basic experience that you have as an entrepreneur, as an individual, which is your ideal day. Okay, how does your ideal day look like? If it's not clear for you, how does your ideal day look like? How much more for a month? How much more for a year? How much more for 5 years? So for me, you have to start dun sa pinaka minimum, which is your day. So for me, it could be surfing in the morning for about 2 to 3 hours, and then have my lunch, and then and work in the afternoon. So it depends on you. Again, I want you to be very authentic about this. Yung ano talaga yung gusto niyong mangyari in a day, okay? And then of course integrating your work. But at the same time, asking yourself, what is the vision for my business? Now, this is the total separation. This is detaching that, okay, so knowing my own way of designing my day. So, ano naman yung sa business? Okay? Ano yung magiging objective ng business? Is it 5 years? I'm gonna have like 5 branches. Is it in 5 years? I'm gonna have 100 clients. So, magkaiba yun. And then, you redefine what is success for you, because you don't want, again, to live up to someone else's expectations, and you don't want to live up to someone else's definition of success. You have to really think about, what does success mean to me? Does it mean that I get to go home and be with my parents? So that could be success, right? So that means na hindi lang siya focus on the work or the business. So there are 2 steps for you to start on this journey of detaching and redefining. So number 1 is to regularly step up. When you're a CEO or the head of the business, or maybe you're starting a business, it's always recommended that you don't work always inside your business, but you regularly look at your business with the bird's eye view. So ito yung na-mention ko kanina. So one of the mistakes, right, is when you work inside your business all the time. But at the same time, so when I say regularly, it could be monthly, looking at, okay, ano kaya yung pwede kong i-look forward na magiging strategy sa business. So you do that. And then you reflect as well, what happened in the past, how can I make this better? Yan, para siyang business reflection. And then you also have to step out regularly. So this is a marathon. When you start a business, it's not a sprint. It's gonna be high intensity marathon. Okay, so you regularly have to take a break, because the breath will be very critical, okay, when you're doing marathon. So regularly do things that bring your joy. outside the business, because that will increase your productivity, your creativity, your mood as well. And then you'll be excited actually to go back to your work when you really become present into your life outside your business. So two steps: step up and step out. And that is the main reason why the when you get creative ideas, it actually happens when you're not technically working. So this is the this is the content I created before, no? When I'm actually washing the dishes or just walking around, wala naman akong iniisip. So that's when I get creative ideas for my business. So that is a sign that your brain needs to, slow down and take a break. For Micah, she's a diver. So the first thing I told her is that, okay, now you're overwhelmed, you have to dive more. And she was telling me, like, I did not expect that from a business coach. So she was assuming that I would tell her, okay, you have to fix your sales and all this. But I said that, you know what, you're overwhelmed right now. So you need something that really that will give you comfort. Okay. So that's diving. And for you guys who are listening right now, you need to clarify as well how you want to grow the business, and that's why it's part of the first phase, is to redefine. So if you know exactly, like for Micah kasi, she's really clear that she doesn't want to have like multiple, branches or multiple firms. She wants to stay small, but she wants to have premium clients, as opposed to Audie, who's working with 30 to 40 clients, right? But making sure that she can sustain her energy. So everything has to be defined by you. So you need to know, what kind of future do I see for my business so that I can enjoy something else. Okay. And clarify how you want to spend your week as well. So looking at your daily intention to your week. Okay. So do you want to have to dive every single week? So yeah, part siya ng ng detaching and the redefining. Okay. And once you know exactly what you want to happen in your week, in your life, in your business, okay, now you will decline. So Micah actually mentioned this in one of our coaching calls, that she told me that the first step in designing or redesigning is actually to declutter. And that means you have to say no to a lot of things. You might be thinking that, oh, I'm okay kasi ang dami kong, I enjoy everything, but you end up actually exhausted. So that means there are so many things that are not working for you right now. Maybe spreading yourself too thinly, maybe you have so many roles, maybe you engage yourself in so many activities that you try to please everyone as well. So you need to decline. What are the things that you look forward to in the business? You focus on that. Who are the clients that you love working with? Then try to replicate that and say no to the clients, to the profile of clients that you don't want to work with, or the profile of customers. What are the tasks that actually drain you? Delegate that, ask for help, okay? And are you charging the worth of your services? So that's also one of the biggest source of overwhelm in business, by the way. So that's what we uncovered here, that a lot of people don't charge the right value, and that's why they ended up taking like 100 clients, and half of them are not their ideal clients. And also to define yourself, what is your non-negotiable in the business. Okay. And I'm just going to focus on one of the things here, because I believe that this is one of the one of the things that entrepreneurs need to learn, especially when you're starting. Okay, so I will cover first the simple rules in delegation. Accept that you don't love everything in your business, no matter, regardless of how passionate you are. Okay, there are so many things in my business that I don't like, especially accounting. Okay, so outsource what drains you. That's like one of my basic rules. Outsource what drains you. Do not outsource what sparks joy. So parang Marie Kondo. So I would not outsource the part where I get to talk to people, because that's what I enjoy the most in the business. I don't outsource my webinars. I don't ask someone to do it for me, because this is what I enjoy as well. And when you delegate your task to someone, and when you outsource your task to someone, you need to learn to accept that 75% good is good enough. That no one can duplicate you 100%. And that means you have to put as parang a standard, an expectation that it's not going to be 100%, but you have to accept, okay, kung 75% good enough na yan. Okay, so that you can focus on the 20% highly valuable tasks. Remember that the 20% highly valuable tasks will give you 80% results. So all of the other things outside the 20%, you can outsource that or you can delegate. Okay, so another thing that I want to bring up here is that when you want a long-term business, you want to make sure that it's sustainable, right? So, and one of the biggest concerns, always, lagi itong nagka-come up with our sessions is the profit, okay? A lot of people, when they start their business, there's so much passion. And then there's also demand. So that's a good fit because now you can have a business, passion plus pain point in the market. You're trying to solve a problem, right? So now you can be, you can start an enterprise. So you can be an entrepreneur by solving this problem. Somebody else or somebody will pay you. Okay. And that should result to a profit. But a lot of entrepreneurs forget this part. So what happens here? When you don't charge the right price, okay, when you don't have a good pricing strategy, it actually results to overwhelm and resentment to clients. Na parang, oh, itong client na to or itong customers na to, ang daming hinihingi, ganyan. But at the end of the day, there's what we call the hack rate. So if I am charging this amount of money, and I filter out, of course, the customers who are the right people for me, and I charge them this amount of money, I have to accept na parang that's part of the package. Okay, when they ask so many things, that's my happy rate on doing as part of serving this customer or client. Okay, but at the end of the day, a lot of people get themselves, well, I guess they accept people lowballing them. Okay, because some people said, oh, I'm just starting, or hindi ko alam kung paano mag-charge. Yan. So for these three ladies, that's one of the basic things that we fix. Okay, Micah, we tripled her charge. And now she's fully booked for the house projects this year. So she has an architectural firm, by the way. And then si Odi, we standardized her pricing because she has a lot of different price tiers. And she was so confused. So she told me that, okay, what I wanted is a very simple system when it comes to pricing. So we introduced like just two pricing tiers. Okay. And she's working again with 30 to 40 clients. And si Tay naman, we increased her price as well. After years of lowballing herself, she told me that, these people, they did not complain. Diba? Nung nagtaas siya ng price. So it's most of the time us limiting ourselves to, na ito lang yung kaya natin. Again, this may come from self-worth, but we have to work on that as well. That the right people will say yes to you. Okay, even if you increase your price or you triple your charge, because you're able to prove to them that you are the right person fit to work with them as well. Okay, and lastly, okay, I still have like few minutes. Lastly is to redesign. And this is the part where now that you know what you know about yourself, about your business, and it's very clear to you, how do you want to see your business in 1 year, in 2 years, and how intentional is your day. And now you're able to trim the fat of your business, or even for you, like maybe trim the people, the customers na hindi mo gustong ka-work. Yeah. So knowing what you know now, how can you redesign your business? What are highly valuable tasks for you? What are the things that you enjoy in the business you don't want to delegate to other people? And how can you leverage on systems as well? And do you actually use tools in your business? So this is how we redesign. So just to point this out, I'm only using about 5 major tools in the business. So that's Calendly, the Notion. Notion is my project management tool and also my organizer. So it's like an extension of my brain. I also use 2 major databases, Airtable and Google Sheets. That's it. And I have like other systems. Canva, of course. So Canva. So these tools are making my life easier. I don't need to hire a graphic designer because I can use Canva as much as I want to create my content and edit my videos and everything. So sobrang laking tulong when you leverage on the tools. Okay, so don't think that you're alone in this. So there are so many people, not just tools. This could be the community as well. This is something that you can leverage on to help you. Okay, if you're feeling overwhelmed and drained, there are so many people that can help you. Okay, you don't need to always feel alone. I know sometimes entrepreneurship can feel lonely, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Okay, so si Audie, she was able to parang redesign her day in such a way that she can do her errands in the morning without worrying that her clients will look for her or tatawagan siya every now and then. So we leverage Notion in her coaching business, and we redesigned her operation so that her students can work independently even without her. So this is one of the biggest effects as well of rewiring that hustle culture mindset, because now that you feel like, oh, I am separate from my business. Now I don't always need to be present in my business like 24/7, and I get to empower the people around me, the stakeholders of my business, including my clients, including the people working with me, my assistants, my team, kung meron man kayong team. You get to empower them because you are consistently thinking of a way to redesign the business na parang kahit wala ako doon, it can function. Okay? It can function even without me. So I am not necessary, but I can be available. Okay, so that's how I move forward with my business now. And she can also set up like simple marketing strategies na kahit wala siya in social media, like her business can run. So that's exactly what I promote in this in this webinar, in my content as well, as a coach as well, is to shift your perspective about working, about the how you would redesign your day and your life. So it's not just about the work and the business, but how can you have the best of both worlds? How can you be successful in your business, but also live your best life? And that means you can follow this framework: the detach and redefine, decline and redesign. So yeah, just like what I mentioned earlier, the first step to redesign is to declutter. And I'm going to say that once again. The first step to redesign is to declutter. And that means that looking at the things that are not working for you and are not serving you right now, and offloading that from you so that you can create a bigger space to to more love or life outside your work or business, and even strategies that might be, it can work for you, but you're trying to deny that because you feel like you're stuck in your current situation. So again, you have to look at it based on your vision, your vision for your business and your own intentional day, and to declutter, to eliminate a lot of things, okay, and before you actually redesign. So that's it, I think. Okay, just to conclude everything here, I know that's a long talk, but there are three major things that I learned from this journey of creating this program. I basically co-created the program with my clients. But number one is, the more I enjoy the business, the more I become successful, and that's why you trim the things that drain you and just focus on the things that spark joy. The best thing that can happen in a day may not actually be related to work or business. And the first step to designing is to declutter. So just to summarize everything. So if you guys have any questions, I think this is the perfect time to do that. Any questions or key takeaway?
All right. So thank you so much for that insightful and inspiring talk, Ms. Suzette. And as someone who is really interested in building a business that will hopefully not stress me out too much, I could really apply the tips and lessons learned today to help me build any kind of businesses that will suit my lifestyle in the future. So I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to ask questions to know more about the topic today. So we are now opening the floor to some questions. So Eliza will be the one to address you during the Q&A portion. So please send your questions through the live chat box there on YouTube. So hi, Eliza.
Hi everyone, I'm also a community associate of Ace Commerce, and I'll be the host for today's question and answer portion. I know you guys have a lot in mind, so please do not be shy to send your questions in the YouTube chat box. While waiting for more questions to come in, someone actually asked earlier, when would you know that you need to hire staff for your business?
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me? So I'm not sure if
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So when do you know when to start? Normally, so there are many ways to do it. So for me, what happened was I am already anticipating that there will be a surge of work. So you normally it's really triggered by demand. Again, if you look at the bird's eye view of your business and you have a goal in mind, you can already set up the system so that when the bulk of the demand comes, so pag naging clients na sila, pag naging customers na sila, so you won't really get overwhelmed and burned out. So sometimes it's triggered by the demand. It can also be triggered by you as you plan it. Kasi pwedeng, I target that I'm gonna have like 20 clients and I'm gonna do, well, of course, you're gonna have like a planning for that. So the systems is already, what my systems meaning, I'm gonna already set up the staff na mag-cater to that. But I guess the more practical way in a business perspective is to at least see if the demand is rising, okay, and then you will know when to hire staff, because there will be that phase as well na mararamdaman mo siya. Sometimes in simple things like nagkakamali ako sa emails. So that could be, that could be a sign that I have to really have to hire someone to take care of this stuff in the business, to the admin stuff, because now I can parang I can put my time on the other valuable tasks in the business. But mostly it's triggered by demand. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So another question, how to enhance productivity when you're in a pressure situation?
How to enhance productivity? I'm gonna have to normally, because I would ask context, but okay. So productivity meaning you want to have things more done in a day, parang ganun ba yon? So I'm just assuming so yeah. When you are in a high pressure, did you say high pressure environment?
Situation.
Okay. That's a really tricky question. Okay. So honestly, like it has been a long time wherein I'm in a high pressure situation, just because the insight here is you have to prevent it from happening, right? So productivity, I would say, and I would recommend this tool that I've been using since like hindi ko alam, 10 years ago, or maybe not really 10 years ago, but 5 years ago, the matrix, the 4-quadrant matrix, wherein you will know what is important and urgent. So this 4-quadrant. So you will have to determine what is important, urgent, important, and not urgent. And then there are the 2 quadrants na parang you have to eliminate, right? The waste and excess. So when you are in high pressure, well, yung tool na sinabi ko is to avoid that high pressure eventually. But when you are in that situation, normally this is very simple, but you have to breathe and take a step back. It really, really helps. Okay. So when you are overwhelmed and already burned out, sobrang hirap mag-isip, you don't have clarity. And this is the reason why we try to avoid that kind of situation as much as we can. If you can do meditation, you can't really solve the problem with a kind of mindset na, kailangan ma-solve ko to agad. But the first step is to really clear your head. So in terms of being productive, for me, resting is part of being productive. So resting your brain, taking a step back, taking a break, okay, even just for a few hours, and then going back to the situation with a different perspective. So, yon. So I hope that helps.
It does. Okay. So next question. What advice would you give if someone didn't like their job but needed it for financial reasons?
Oh, okay. So, I think I've been in that situation before. So, I would say, okay, if you don't really like your job, again, I would love to have more context of this. But for most people, kasi who thinks that their job is draining, because job has different aspects, right? Some there are so many things that you can look forward to in a job na parang it doesn't necessarily have to be the work itself. Sometimes it's the environment, sometimes it's the money, right? And in your case, I guess the money is a big priority right now. So determine first what's causing you what do you hate about the job? Kasi baka yung small aspect na yon, you can start with that. Like you can start changing on that level. Do you hate the environment? Do you hate the people working with you, or you absolutely hate the task? Because if you hate the task, and I've been there before, it felt like really really draining, and I don't want to stay anymore. I decided to create my exit plan. So recognizing, I know that you're in a financial situation right now, but since well, I hope that you have the capacity to save, but and also look for different opportunities, because that's exactly what I did before. So I saved, I prepared for about 6 months, okay, and I ended up as an entrepreneur. So basically, just assess the situation right now. What exactly do you hate about your job? Pwede pa bang i-change yon? Okay, can it still be under your control? I mean, okay, if not, if you absolutely hate it and you want to jump somewhere else, make sure that you know where to jump. Okay, it could be, yeah, being an entrepreneur, it could be some other job, okay, and then close the gap from there. So recognize where you are right now, where you want to be, and how can you get there. Okay, so that's the most important thing. That's the framework. Where you are, where you want to be, and then close the gap with the how. Okay.
Okay, so the next question, is it wise to fully stop your business operations in order to address your burnout?
Oh, mm, this is where this is why the systems is important, because you can actually, well, you cannot. I would say that if it's like your main source of income, parang ang hirap din naman, 'di ba, kung mag-stop ka agad, because if this will affect your own personal finance, then you have to be practical as well. And this is why we want to make sure na you have a systems in place in case there are, well, emergency situations like this where you can you feel like you need to take a step back. Okay, but if you're in that situation right now, I absolutely want to say, yeah, yes, you think that this taking a step back will actually give you a better mental space to move forward with your business, because a lot of people would just hindi lang step back, they will totally just give up from their business. And if you think that this, again, I would say rest is part of your strategy. If you think that you needed that in order to shift your perspective about your business, then do it. So siguro not really long lang, because of course you still need to operate and address the different financial concerns. But if you feel like you need it right now, it's part of the strategy. I have done that so many times. But again, the intention of this session is as early as now, you want to set up the system so that when you need to take a step back, the system's already there. So even though you're not really like there 24/7 and present, merong sasalu sa'yo. Okay, it could be systems like tools, or it could be people. Yun. I hope that helps.
It does, man. So for the next question, they are asking, can I launch another business that is not related to the first one? Is it healthy in the long run?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I have done that, but the only for me, because I've seen a lot of people launch their business just because they have capital, and I think that's one step to fail the business, because yes, you can launch a business just because you have a capital, but the first qualifier for me is, if are you passionate, are you interested to really run this business? Because without passion, just like what I've shown earlier, the three-piece closed loop system, without passion, you won't be able to sustain it. So ask yourself first, is this something that will interest me in the long run? Is it something I'm really passionate about? Or I'm just doing this because I have extra money? Okay, because if that's the case, maybe become an investor. Have someone, operate the business for you. That's part of the systems also. Okay, but it's absolutely acceptable to launch another business. Yes.
Okay, so for the next one, Is it fine to be proactive in dealing with burnout or overwhelm towards work?
Proactive, okay. Again, I need context on this, pero yeah, very interesting questions. Proactive meaning you are anticipating. So I'm not sure if that's right, pero my assumption is you want to deal with it, like, of course, being proactive. Yeah, you want to deal with it, anticipating it's going to happen in the future. Yes, of course. Being proactive meaning you are, I would say this is basically like investing in your own growth, investing on your self-care. So that's the way to be proactive on dealing with your burnout or overwhelm. So if you can, there are so many ways to do this for you. Again, enjoying the things that you that you're doing outside your work. Journaling, meditation is one of the most effective. uh Exercising, so sobrang dami. But yeah, you can be proactive, and that means that being proactive is putting that time for yourself to grow outside the business or your work, and putting a lot of self-care. So it doesn't have to be expensive self-care, but just, focusing on the things that you actually enjoy.
Okay, that's great. So they're asking, what's good for the business, being a maximizer or an optimizer?
Definitely optimizer. Because again, there are people, okay, just to give you an idea, there are people who are born to be maximizers. They're like, okay, I'm gonna do everything this month, and then there's an intention also behind this. Some people would like to exit their business. I don't know if you guys heard of this, pero may mga tao kasi that they want to grow the business for about 2 to 3 years, or maybe 2 to 5 years, and then exit, meaning sell their business afterwards. So they're actually, more maximizers because they have to maximize the opportunity in the next 1 to 5 years. But if you guys are seeing your business as a long-term business, like, you can even your children can even inherit this. Pwedeng ganon. Parang you don't really need to rush, right? So that's one thing I learned here. That's why I'm optimizing, because for me, the best experience is when you enjoy the process. So when you are enjoying your daily life and your daily time in the business, that's the success for me. So I don't need to wait like after 5 years until I sell my business to say that I am successful and I am happy. So for me, it's all about focusing on the day itself. So I just optimize what I can do in a day, and that means that I get to have best of my both worlds. So yes, optimizing also is good for the long term because it's slow and intentional rather than rush, 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 as if you're competing with someone. So yeah, so long term, it's being an optimizer.
Okay, so for the next question, much.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. They're asking, when does me time becomes too much?
Wait, sorry. Yeah, that's a really good question. Okay. The me time becomes too much. Okay, there's always that's always a tricky the tricky part because some people would look at it like, oh, you're lazy because you're not doing anything, or or people think na tapos na yung work niya. Okay. So me time, I would say you have to determine yourself, and that's why I don't really recommend like, oh, you have to do like 2 to 3 hours of me time, because you have to really think about what is enough me time for me to be able to get my energy back or to boost my creativity. And this is the reason why the rewiring, so this is a habit that I formed over the years. That is why you have to observe yourself, like, is this like kapag 8 hours, kapag 10 hours ba ako natulog, wala na akong energy paggising ko? Or if it's like some people can sleep for 6 hours and they can be like super energetic. Okay, so you really have to customize this and answer this yourself. So for me, B time is 2 to 3 hours, and having enough socials will definitely boost my energy. So that works for me. But for you, it might be different. So I want you to list down maybe the hours of the activities that actually boost your energy, it doesn't matter how long it is, because sometimes I took my me time like the whole day, and that is my day off, diba? And that works for me. So you always need to find a system that works for you, because every single human being is different. Okay, so the first step here is knowing what actually boosts your creativity, or how long. Oops, sorry, that's I lost my video. And ano yung mga activities that actually gives you more energy. Okay, so I want you to answer that yourself, but it doesn't matter how many hours. Sometimes it's the quality. Okay.
Okay, so for the second to the last question, how do we deal with jaded employees?
Sorry, what was that?
How do we deal with jaded employees?
Jaded employees. Teka. I'm trying to remember kung meron ba akong nag-experience na ganon. Well, I would always go back to systems. So I love systems. I like putting systems on every aspect of my business. And think about kasi it depends on what's on the situation, kung nagiging malaki ba yung impact nung pagiging jaded nila, okay? And is there a business impact, large business impact, or is it just bothering you but they're actually delivering their work? So it's definitely case to case basis. But again, I will only speak for when it becomes problematic for your business, that you always have to go back to a system wherein, okay, meron ba akong system in place na he's not delivering for about a month? Should I give him or should we have a one-on-one discussion and then warn him? So there are systems in place for that na parang, and you have to consult your HR, by the way. So kung may kilala kayong HR, but normally I would talk to my employees and ask them na, if this doesn't change, so I will put you like on a probation on this particular in like 2 to 3 months, and then let's see what will happen, blah blah blah. So again, this will be addressed by systems. So the first step is knowing how much is the impact. Okay, is it just annoying, or is this actually affecting the work and the business? And then set up your own rules. Okay, so a lot of the things that are happening, by the way, in the employee boss relationship or leader relationship is that the communication. So I would always start with that there's a certain system for you na in 1 month na hindi sila nagpa-perform, ano yung mga steps, ano yung procedure on how you can make things better. Do they need proper training? Maybe they need the one-on-one or something else. So yeah, you have to set up that system for yourself. Okay, so I hope that helps.
Yeah, that helps, Saman. So because of time constraints, I'll be asking the last question.
Okay.
They're asking, what advice would you give to those who are still lost and don't know their passion?
Oh, okay. So a lot of people are still lost and don't know their passion, by the way. This is pretty normal. So I don't want you to pressure yourself that I should have passion. Lahat ng tao may passion. So honor your own pace, because it's not like I was born with so much passion and I know exactly what I wanted to do, the moment I graduated from the university. So one is honor your own pace and just continue doing things that makes you feel alive, because from there it will lead you to the right path. So I'm just following my bliss. If Siargao, if the island life is actually I feel like I am being called out to serve there, so why not? And I enjoy that. I just followed that. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen after like 2 to 3 years, but I'm all for enjoying what it is, what right now. So enjoying the present. So a lot of people get so fixated with the destination, but actually, again, it will always be about the process. So for me, if you don't maybe stop getting fixated on finding the passion, but focus on being present and enjoying the process. So think about what are the things that you're enjoying right now, and from there maybe you can discover your passion. By the way, before I realized that I wanted to be a coach, and yung pagiging coach ko is actually came from actually came from a demand. It took me about 7 years, before I came here. And this is when I discovered that this is my calling. So it will take you some time, few months, maybe years, maybe. So honor your pace right now, but continue following your bliss. So that's my advice.
Thank you so much for answering all the questions. I'll give the floor back to Patrice.
All right. So thank you so much, Eliza. And thank you so much, Miss Suzette, for answering the questions and for the insightful and inspiring talk you have shared with me and everyone in this live stream. So with that, we want to award the certificate of appreciation to you for being our speaker for today. So Ace Commerce Philippines award this certificate of appreciation for, oh my God, sorry, for imparting her valuable insight and inspiration at the ACE Commerce webinar entitled Entrepreneurship Without Overwhelm, Designing Your Business Around Your Life, given on this day, March 4th, 2022, Manila, Philippines, signed by Franz, CEO of Asia Commerce. So thank you so much again, Ms. Suzette, for being such an inspiration to me and the peoples of today's event. And we really appreciate you allotting time for us. And it was truly an honor to have you speak for us. So before you go, is there anything else you want to promote, or where can our audience reach you?
Yes. Can I share my screen just a bit so that I can ayan. Ay, wait, sorry. Thank you so much for having me while I'm opening this. And it's such an honor it's actually super fun to answer all these questions. So thank you so much. I am actively promoting a program that is definitely anti-hustle. So this is called the Slow Hustlers Academy, and this is a highly customized one-on-one coaching and consultancy for 10 weeks for scaling and overwhelmed entrepreneurs. And my intention here is to really rewire your current mindset. If it's hustle culture mindset, we're going to rewire that into becoming an optimizer and grow your business based on your own preference. Again, I'm all about the authenticity or of growing your business, not because of someone else's expectations, and also set up systems for repeatable and predictable success in your business. So if this is too much for you, like 10 weeks is such a huge commitment, I also have a step up VIP call, which is a one-on-one, one-time VIP call. So this is for solopreneurs, and this is all about the intention is all about taking back the control in your business by doing strategic planning, which is basically what I did with some of my clients. And that means that you're gonna see forecasts, we're gonna do business analysis, and I will give you some recommendations on how you can optimize your business moving forward without burnout and overwhelm. So thank you again so much. And I know this has been it's pretty new to the Philippines, by the way, this kind of belief, this kind of mindset, because we as a culture, we're really hardworking, and that is something that I want to rewire, because you can be hardworking and successful while also taking a break and enjoying life, and there are many ways to do that. So I hope that you guys got a lot of value from this session, and thank you so much, Ace Commerce, for inviting me.
All right. So thank you so much once again, Ms. Suzette. So for the next announcement, everyone, our weekly webinars will continue next week, and we hope to see you again for our webinar entitled Okay, so finally, for the last reminders for the participants who would want to have an e-certificate. So please do not forget to create an Ace Commerce account through our website, acecommerce.org, as we give announcement for future webinars where you can RSVP. So please also do not forget to answer the e-certificate form that will be sent at the chat box. So friendly reminder, everyone, that we will strictly no longer entertain concerns about e-certificate and create e-certificate to those who fail to answer the Google form. So please avoid making errors inputting your email, since incorrect emails will no longer be our responsibility. So if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship and get updated for upcoming events, please like our Facebook page. And in order to connect with fellow entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, you can join our Telegram group so you can network and ask advice from the community. So that's it, guys. Remember that the evaluation form will be closed at will be closed at 11:59 p.m. today. So for concerns, kindly message us on our Facebook page or on our Telegram channel. So thank you again, everyone, for joining our event today. And we hope to see you again in our next event, March 18, Friday, 4 p.m. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Oh, please follow me at themodernmaria.co. I forgot to flash my, my account. Sorry?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.